Om Shri Swaminarayanaya Namo Namaha. Om Shri Ghanshyam Maharajaya Namo Namaha. Om Shri Sadgurubhyo Namo Namaha. Welcome to SwaminarayanSpirituality.com and all of the related podcasts and YouTube channel. This is Sachin Karnik. I want to offer my prostrations to Bhagavan Swaminarayan, all the Paramahansas of Shriji Maharaj, as well as the various Guru Paramparas that are present in the world today. My prostrations and humble pranams to all of them. With that, we're continuing today on part number 51 of Garada Pratham 1 Vachanamrut on the continuing question of Dhyan and the answer that Maharaj has given, the question of Maya actually, and the answer Shriji Maharaj gives with regards to Dhyan. So along these lines, I want to explore another way to understand the way Dhyan is discussed in Vachanamrut throughout, as well as the emphasis on Bhakti Yoga, or Bhakti Yoga as we say. Bhakti Yoga, or Bhakti Yoga, is the main and central path, Marga, M-A-R-G-A, or path, propagated by, initiated by Shriji Maharaj. And Bhakti Yoga in general capitalizes on prem, which is loving devotion. Bhakti Yoga is the yoga of devotion. It capitalizes on loving devotion to a higher power or Ishta Devata. Right? So in the case of Vachanamrut, the bhakti that is discussed is the upasana of the form of God, God with form. Bhagavan is Sakar, S-A-K-A-R, or S-A-A-K-A-R. Sakar means with form. Throughout the Swaminarayan Sampradaya, you will see this again and again in all of the denominations in the Sampradaya, the branches in the Sampradaya, that Maharaj is considered to be Shri Purushottam Narayan himself. This is point number one. Point number two is that the murti, the 16-year-old murti, it's not really like years old like we are, but that's just a way to kind of think about it. It's called the Kishore Murti in the Akshardham. That is not male or female, it is Satchidananda Vigraha. And that murti is with form. So many times in Advait Vedanta and other traditions, God is described as a formless light, or just as formless. Yes, no doubt. Maharaj has clarified that in Vachanamrut, that the names and forms of Prakriti are not there in that way in the Brahmadham. But the liberated beings, the Akshar Mukta, they have form. Mool Akshar has form. And Bhagwan Purushottam has form. Now, Mool Akshar, there's some controversy about that. I don't want to go into all that thing right now. My only point right now is that Bhagwan has form. Right? So to reach that Paramatma and to be in the eternal servitude of the Lord in the Akshardham, this is called Mukti. Mukti is where there is continuous liberation outside of Maya with a divine body in the presence of the Supreme Being. But to reach that stage from where we are with the human body and our mind and senses and all that is happening in the world, Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of devotion, is very, very beneficial for us, because we already have love in our heart. So it capitalizes on loving devotion, on prema. But Shriji Maharaj has even added to this bhakti, or the protection of the bhakti, by ensuring that the suppression of the vasanas through rigid control is redirected, so that it's not just a suppression, because the vasanas will get suppressed to some extent. Bhakti yoga redirects the emotional energies. Our emotions have energy. There's no question about that. Every emotion carries energy. So emotional sublimation means that love and devotion replace self-centered cravings, thereby dismantling the egocentric basis of vasanas. Let's go through that again carefully so that we are very clear. Love and devotion replace self-centered cravings. Right? Most human beings are living in that dimension of self-centeredness. And then the cravings, the wantings that are within that self-centeredness. So when we love God, and this is generically true in any path, in any devotional path, when there is love for God and there is devotion towards God, there's devotion, the dualistic bhakti. Bhakti is dualistic. All bhakti is dualistic until you reach the highest stage. Even then, there's dualism left, even in the highest stage. We'll talk about that later. So, love and devotion replace self-centered cravings. And this dismantles the egocentric basis of vasanas. The vasanas, the deep-seated desires within our mind, our heart, are coming from the ego, from the ahankar. And they get dismantled. They get dismantled step by step as devotion increases, faith increases, knowledge increases, wisdom increases. So the longing for divine union or divine communion, which is more accurate in Vachanamrut Tattvagnan, the longing for divine communion absorbs lower impulses, aligning seamlessly with the principle of energy transformation, because it's all energy transformation. Our energies are going in lower direction. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Matsar, Asha, Trishna, Irsha, Ahankar, Rag, Dvesh, Chal, Kapat. This goes on. This is all damage to the mind, to the senses, at the unending attachment. Kam, Svad, Sneha, Krodh, Lobh. What is all of this? These are lower impulses. That's what they are. Again, the inner transmutation. In Gujarati, we say, Antarnu Parivartan. That's exactly what the right translation is, inner transmutation. This inner transmutation is absolutely necessary. And Shriji Maharaj is talking about this inner transmutation when he is talking about dhyan. And he is showing what is Maya. Maya is not a physical object. Maya is this massive obstruction that is experienced when we are trying to commune with God, when we are trying to establish a divine communion, a great relationship with the Lord. And in the attempt to do so, there are avrana. Avrana meaning obstacles. So the avrana that we have been examining are so many. It's an endless number. That's what Maharaj is saying. Je padarth adu avine avran kare tene maya kahiye. When you're doing dhyan, Bhagwan no bhakta hoy tene Bhagwan ni murti nu dhyan karta. Je padarth adu avine avran kare tene dhyan kahiye. We have been looking at only this one sentence for quite a while. It's very beautiful to do such an in-depth exploration. And what is it that's coming as an obstacle? That's the lower impulses. The lower impulses are entrapping, ensnaring, enslaving humanity. All of humanity is trapped inside lower impulses. You see, so to even recognize what they are is the very first step. You see, because the redirection of emotional energies, intellectual energies, etc., is facilitated by practices such as kirtana. When we do bhajan kirtan, bhajan kirtan is a very big thing in life. It's not small. People say, yeah, some devotional songs here and there. It is a redirection of emotion, and there is wisdom and knowledge and truth in the lines of the different bhajans. This is, now you'll see that dhyan that Maharaj is talking about, it means an inner transmutation of lower impulses that begins with the worship of the Lord through bhajan kirtan, manan chintan, through bhajan kirtan, meaning it is an ecstatic state that we want to enter into. We can enter into. And many times such an experience immerses the practitioner in communal and sensory experiences of devotion. That's why when people come together for bhakti with love and respect for each other, that becomes a communal experience. That becomes communal devotion. Many churches have that. Many Hindu sampradayas have that. Swaminarayan sampradaya definitely has that. This communal experience of devotion. So these practices create a supportive environment for channeling lower impulses into expressions of divine love and reverence. The lower impulses, kam, krodh, lobh, etc., so many are there. Those lower impulses get transmuted. They are channeled. It's the energy within them and then the experience of them that is channeled into the expression of divine love. And it is channeled into reverence. reverence. So through continuous engagement in these activities, satsanga, kirtan, seva, pujan, it just goes on. The aspirant's heart is gradually purified, meaning the emotional heart. Antakarana shuddhi is emotionally purified, and the innate tendencies for ego-driven actions are transformed into a higher yearning for spiritual connection. The innate tendencies change. They get transformed. Higher yearning begins to happen. So this is just, I just wanted to give a little bit of this angle here today on emotional sublimation, inner transmutation, that Bhakti Yoga is what is emphasized in Vachanamrut. It capitalizes on prem. Why do we say capitalize? That means that it already uses what's there, which is our tendency to love. It's already there. It just needs to be directed towards Bhagwan. That's the only thing that is. Once we direct it in that direction, then we can make good progress further, right? So that's good for now. We will continue on this path further, more to come in subsequent recordings. Thank you. Hari Om.